Hello, I want to thank you for joining us on our tutorial on how to use your Hunter X-Core. So we're going to start with, you see the time here is 12:12. Let's just pretend you've just plugged in your controller, and usually it'll just turn on, bars will roll up, and it'll say 12 o'clock a.m. That's its standard starting time. So first things you want to do is you want to set your date and time. Let's go ahead and switch over to date and time. You'll see it starts at 2013. To change that, we're going to push this positive sign up here, and we're going to change it to the current year, which is 2019. There you go. There's 2019. Then to get to the continue on to change everything, and we're going to push the right arrow right here, which will change it to the date. So right now it's set at January, and today is actually October. There we go. It's October. We're going to push over to get to the days. Once our date is set, today is October. I think it's 8th. Really doesn't matter, but we're going to assume today is the 8th. Let's see. Nope. Maybe it's the 7th. And I pushed over. This is going to be slight raw. I apologize. Here we go. Let's go down to the 7th, the 6th. Oh, today is not October. It's November. That's why. Huh. You'll have to excuse me. And it's Sunday, so today is November 10th. There we go. It's November 10th, 2019. I am so sorry. Alright, so we're going to push over to go to the time. You'll see right now it's blinking on the AM and PM. It is currently 10:56 AM, so I'll go ahead and keep it on AM. If I needed to change that to PM, I can push the down, which if I push down it goes to 24 hour. We'd want to push that again to get to PM, and you'll notice it just keeps going around in circles. So if you accidentally pass it up, AM, PM, or 24 hour, you'll just switch that to the one that you need to be, which right now is AM, so I'm going to keep pushing it. Now it's set to AM. It's blinking on AM, so I'm going to push over to the time. It's on 12, so we're going to go back down to 10 and 56, so I push over again to get to the next. And we're going to kind of hold that down until it gets to 56. There we go. So now our date and time is set, if I'm not mistaken. So we can push over again, start over, 2019, November 10th, AM, 10:57 AM. So if you want to check and verify, you can click this little center knob back to run, and you'll see it says 10:57 AM, and you'll know it's in the run position because that little colon in the middle is blinking. So next is start time. Now, start times is basically stating when do I want my sprinklers to run. Do I want them to run at 2 AM, which we suggest during heat of the summer? Do I want everything to turn on at 5 AM? Whenever you want to do it, we suggest here at Thrive Outdoors 2 AM in the morning during the summertime and 6 PM during the winter. If you want to write that down, just a little suggestion on start times. And this again is just strictly to when to start everything that you've set. So we're going to go ahead and you want to make sure that we're in program A. So right here it says A. If you happen to be in a B when you're setting, then you would want to press this program button right here. You'll see it just switch to B. Now it switches to C. We want to do everything in A. If you're going to be using B and C, you might want to contact your contractor, which of course we hope that's us. But again, whenever you're setting anything, when you get into start times, run times, water days, all of these, you want to be with program A. So make sure that says A there. Alright, so now you'll notice right now it says off. Let's go ahead and change that by pressing the up arrow to change the time. And now it's set for 2 AM, and you've got to make sure it's on AM. So right here in this little slot it says AM. Make sure you're looking at these things when you set. Number one, it's in program A. We're in the first start time. The time, and then if it's AM or PM, which is right over here. If you wanted to do a second start time, let's say you wanted to water twice in a day, you wanted all of your zones to water twice, then you would click the over button here, which you'll notice that just switched to 2. That would be your second start time, and we can do at any time. Let's say you wanted to do a second one for 6 AM or 7 AM, you would just change that, but we're not going to do that. We're going to put that back down to midnight, or I'm sorry, off. Alright, so we're going to set it off, and you can push over, and you can see you can get up to 4 separate start times. Here's 2, here's 3, here's 4. And there you go. So there's your start time. So next, we're going to switch to run times, which is the third, 2, 3, the third in line. So run times is how long you're going to set each zone. So if you have 5 zones in your system, you do need to look at your design or look at your zones, understand what times you're setting them for. If it's drip line and it's heat of the season, we probably suggest 25 minutes. If it's sprays, we probably suggest 15 minutes. These are suggestions for the area. And if it's rotors in that zone and all those heads are rotors, you're going to set it for probably 20 to 25 minutes. Now this is heat of the summer, July, August, June, July, August, that time of year. So when we're in run times, this first number is what zone number, the blinking is the time, and the letter is which program. So all 3 of these you need to pay attention to when you're changing. So since we're already set in station 1, let's pretend our station 1 is a drip zone and it's in your front flower beds and we want 20 minutes. So we're going to change this plus sign until we get to 20 minutes. These are minutes, these are not seconds. When you're in the Hunter X Score, these are minutes. So we're going to bump that up until it gets to 20. There we go. So zone 1 is set for 20 minutes. So then we're going to go to zone 2. So let's pretend zone 2 in your yard is sprays in your front grass. You'll have to look at your design and see what zone is what, but for this tutorial we're going to pretend zone 2 is front yard sprays. We want 15 minutes. So we did press over to get to zone 2. Now we're going to change the time to 15 minutes. There you go. And you're going to do that for each zone. So let's pretend zone 3 was your drip in your parkway, which is the grass outside of the sidewalk. That's the only area that you would probably have that has drip in the grass. So we're going to change that to 20 minutes. Oops, I held down and it went too fast. There we go, go back down to 20 minutes. So we switch over to 4. And for today's tutorial, we're going to have 4 whole zones. So our backyard's going to be rotors. Let's pretend it's rotors. So I'm on zone 4. We're still in program A, and we're going to change our time to 25 minutes. There you go, zone 4 is 25 minutes. So, alright, so now let's pretend I've got all of my zones set. Zone 1, 2, I might have bumped the camera a little bit, sorry. There we go. So all 4 zones are set. Zone 4, we can go back to check. Zone 3, yes for 20. Zone 2, 15. Zone 1, 20. So now I've got my times for each zone set for how I want them to be set. So next we're going to set the days. So we click next to the next option, which is water days. You'll see I've got it set on the water days section. These are what days it's supposed to come on. Now you will need to check with your city. Most of the time it ends with the last number in your address. For most cities, even numbers are Wednesdays and Saturdays, and odd numbers are Thursdays and Sundays. So if your address is 132 and 2 is the last number, you would be on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And if your address ends in an odd number like 13579, then you would be Thursdays and Sundays. So let's pretend my address ends in a odd number, which is 1. So let's say it's 7331 Pretend Drive in Pretend, Texas. So that 1 is going to decipher that I am on odd days, so Thursdays and Sundays. So you'll see right here, A, that letter A is for your program, right here. And then the water droplets means it's on, and there's no line through it. To turn those days off, you push this negative sign or minus sign. And to turn them on, you press the positive sign. And to just skip, if it already is set the way you want, you can go left and right to go back and forth between the days. So, let's go ahead and set it to where we only have Thursday and Sunday on. We're going to push the minus sign. You'll notice that not only does it turn it off, now there's a circle with a line through it, but when I do that, it also then skips to Tuesday. So I need to turn Tuesday off, so I'm going to push the down. Wednesday needs to be off, I push the down, the minus sign. Now here we're on Thursday. I want to keep that on, so I'm just going to go ahead and press the positive, because I do want it on. And let's say I messed up and I accidentally pushed it off. I can go back by pushing the left arrow. Now it's back to blinking on Thursday. So we're going to push that up. We don't need Friday. We don't need Saturday. And now it's blinking on Sunday. The water droplet's on. We can just leave it. But if you wanted to, you could push the positive sign just in case if you can't see very well, and that would leave Sunday on. So now I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off, Thursday is on, Friday, Saturday is off, Sunday is on, and we are still in program A. Again, it's very important that you look at that program button there. I'm sorry, the program letter, because you don't want to be mixing and matching and accidentally doing things in a different program because it won't understand. So make sure you're always in program A. So now we have set our start time. Let's go back up. Start time is 2 a.m. Run time is, how much time we put for each zone. Water days we've set to where only Thursday and Sunday is on because our address ends in 7331. Now, seasonal adjustment. So all of these times that I just set in my run times, which is how much time is on each zone, instead of me needing to go back to that and change each time, let's say you've got a system that has 10 zones. The last thing you want to do when it starts cooling down is to go through all 10 zones and change those times. It's going to take a while. This right here, your seasonal adjustment, will turn the percentage. So right now it's in 100%. So all the times I put there in run times, that is the 100% mark. So I can adjust all of them at the same time by changing the seasonal adjustment down. So if, let's just keep things simple, let's pretend every run time that I put in for all of the zones was 10 minutes. Well, then if I change my seasonal adjustment down to 50%, then the 10 minutes for all those zones would be 5 minutes because it's half. So this is a great way for you to adjust your system without needing to go through all the run times. So that's that. So seasonal adjustment, we're going to go ahead and change that down to 50%. Actually, we're getting cold, so let's just, right now it's currently November, it's getting chilly. I would probably say 20% is good enough. It's kind of wet, it's cold, we don't need much time, and we only need it watering when it's warm enough. So actually, if I was right, I would have changed your start time to 6 p.m., but you can always go back and change that if necessary. So seasonal adjustment, we've gone down to 20%. I want you to go, I'm going to go back to run times. Now you'll see it's down to 4. Remember, we set it for 20, it's now down to 4 minutes. And if I go to the next, it's down to 3. So see, I didn't go in here and change these. When I changed the seasonal adjustment, it adjusted all of those times. So that's a great little thing to use here, seasonal adjustment, by changing. Now, of course, when it warms up, you need to come back out to your controller as it begins warming up, and we need to go back up and adjust those times. And you'll see when I adjust back up to 80%, go back over here to run times, now you'll see zone 1 is 16 minutes. So it's changing all of your zone times together. It's a lot easier than needing to go here at run times and change them one at a time. So everything else here on this controller, your solar sync, not necessary. We here at Thrive do not install solar sinks. We don't believe in them. You'll see it says error because we do not have a solar sink installed. It is a separate type of rain and freeze sensor. You will not need that. We just use a regular wireless rain and freeze sensor, and we think it does a fantastic job. So lastly, manual, self-explanatory. If you just want to run zone 1 for 16 minutes, then you would go, or let's say zone 2, you would push over to get to zone 2, and then when you're ready, you'll switch it to the run position. It'll run zone 2 for 12 minutes, and then you could walk away, or you could walk away once you set it. You'll see this little spray head is blinking. That means it is running zone 2. So your system would be running zone 2 right now. You could go inside, and when it's complete, it'll go back to its regular scheduled program. So everything that we had set here, the next time it's supposed to run, it'll run. Now, one last thing to keep in mind, these zones do not run together. They run stacked. So zone 1 will have to finish before zone 2 comes on. That's how this works. So if my system was on in its normal time that I had set and it was running, sorry, I'm going to turn it off. I'll let it blink for a second, put it back in the run position. Now it's ready to run when the time I told it to. But your system will not run all the zones together. It can only run one zone at a time. So let's say zone 1, once my run time of zone 1 finishes, then it'll skip to zone 2. That'll run its time that I've set. When that's complete, zone 3, and so on. So that's the Hunter X Core. Lastly, the this is a little trick for you to be able to, without messing anything up, let's say you just wanted to go outside and test your system, but you don't really want to go in and you don't want to run the manual one zone at a time. You don't want to mess anything up that you've already set, but you do need to be testing your system. There is a secret, there's just a secret avenue to get to where you can put it in test mode without changing all that. So if you're in the run position, and only do this when you're in the run position, you're going to hold down that program button until it starts to blink. When it starts blinking, you can change the amount of time you're going to run that zone. You're going to do that the same way you did it here, by pressing the plus and the minus sign. So let's say I want to run each zone for 2 minutes. Well, if it's not set for 2, you'll see what I mean in a moment, then I would bump that while it's still blinking. If I wait too long, it's just going to start. But we're going to go ahead and hold the program run down while it's in the run position. You'll see it starts blinking. Right now I haven't added any time, so it's not going to do anything. So let's do that again. We're going to hold it down. Once it starts blinking, I want to bump it up to 1 minute. So I push that while it's blinking, give it a second, and now it's running. So now it's in a test mode. So it's going to run all 4 zones for 1 minute. You can go around and follow those zones, and when one goes off, the next will go on. That'll go for 1 minute, then 3, then 4. And this is a great way for you to not have to mess with anything. Go test your system, and then you can go inside. So that's the secret little menu to run it in test mode. The only time you really want to be pressing that program button, unless you're setting separate programs, is when it's in the run position, and that's probably going to be for test mode. Now, let's just say you wanted to have 2 minutes because you needed more time. I'm going to go and press this, or turn it to the off position, let it blink for a second until it's completely off. Put it back in the run position. I'm going to hold this down again. We're going to put it in test mode. While it's blinking, I'm going to press up. Now it's set for 2 minutes per zone. And it begins. So it'll run zone 1 for 2 minutes, zone 2 for 2 minutes, 3, and so on. You don't have to come back to the controller. You can finish testing and looking at all your zones, and when it's complete and the last zone finishes, you can go inside and you're done. So, of course, if you have any questions or concerns, you can contact us here at Thrive Outdoor Solutions at 817-946-1805, and this is the Hunter X Corp tutorial. Thank you very much.